Arc Station 1-2 floated like a small steel island in the endless black sea of space. Around it, thousands of stars shined like cold white sparks. Ships came and went every hour, carrying soldiers, traders, scientists, and diplomats from all across the human frontier. For most people, the station felt busy and alive. But for Lieutenant Darian Cole, the station felt like a cage. Darian sat in the command briefing room, tapping his fingers on the metal table. He was 27 years old, tall, sharp-eyed, and known for his strategic thinking. Humans respected him for saving a convoy during a pirate attack 6 months earlier, but because the same mission ended with damage to a civilian ship, Darian blamed himself every night. He still felt the weight of that mistake. Now, he waited for a new assignment, one he expected to be boring, or maybe even a punishment. The door opened with a soft hiss. Commander Hale stepped inside. His short gray hair and strict expression made him look like a man carved from stone. "Lieutenant Cole," he said, "your next mission has been approved." Darian straightened his back. "Yes, sir." Hale held a tablet in his hand and spoke without emotion. "You are being assigned to a 2-person tactical link unit." Darian blinked. "A what?" "A neural link bond with an allied soldier," Hale explained. "A Varkari warrior." Darian's stomach tightened. The Varkari clans were one of humanity's uneasy allies. They were tall, strong, honor-focused, and known for their aggressive training. Most humans found them intimidating. Darian found them unpredictable. "What's the reason for a bond?" he asked carefully. "Joint operations are increasing near the outer border," Hale said. "Humanity must work with the Varkari more closely. Your record shows you adapt quickly under pressure. You are suitable." Darian shifted in his seat. Suitable, he wasn't sure if that was a compliment or a warning. "Who is the Varkari warrior?" he asked. Hale pressed a button on the tablet. A hologram appeared, tall, gray-skinned, horned ridges on her arms, and a serious expression. Her name appeared in glowing letters. Riza Kalor. Darian studied her. She looked powerful and experienced. But then he noticed something unusual. Her right leg was wrapped in a heavy metal brace. She stood with a slight tilt, as if every step might hurt. He frowned. "She's injured?" Commander Hale kept his face still. "She has old battle wounds. Her mobility is limited at times." "And they want me to bond with her? On missions?" Darian asked, surprised. Hale nodded. "Yes, the neural link will support coordination." Darian wanted to argue. He wanted to say this didn't make sense. If she had trouble moving, how would she keep up? Would he need to protect her? Would she slow him down? But he stayed silent. Orders were orders. "Your first test begins in 1 hour," Hale said. "Prepare yourself." Darian stood up, saluted, and left the room, his mind full of doubt. The training chamber for neural bonding was cold and silent. Soft blue light glowed from the floor. In the center sat a circular platform with 2 chairs facing each other. Cables and glowing tubes connected the chairs to a machine on the wall. Darian entered, nervous but trying to hide it. Then he saw her. Reza Kalor stood on the far side of the room, her tall form casting a long shadow. Her skin was rough gray, marked with faint blue patterns. She wore a dark warrior's vest, with metal plates on her shoulders. Her gold-colored eyes studied the walls, the cables, the exit, everything except Darian. Her damaged leg brace gave off a small clicking sound whenever she shifted her weight. She didn't seem bothered by it. Darian approached slowly. "Lieutenant Darian Cole," he said, introducing himself. Reza finally looked at him. Her expression did not change. Her voice was calm but deep. "Reza Kalor, Varkari warrior, 5th tier." There was no greeting, no warmth, just simple fact. Darian cleared his throat. "I didn't expect to be paired with someone of your experience. What you expected does not matter." she replied. He wasn't sure if that was an insult or just her usual tone. She studied him quietly. Her gaze felt heavy, like she was measuring him. You do not wish to be here. He forced a polite expression. It is not my choice. Reza's eyes narrowed. The bond cannot work if you resist it. Maybe, he said. But I don't understand why they paired us. She raised one brow ridge. Say it. Darian hesitated. You're injured. Why would Command use a warrior with a damaged leg for a neural link team? Silence filled the room. Thick like cold fog. Reza did not move. For a moment, Darian feared he had offended her deeply. But she only gave a short breath of Varkari sigh. Perhaps. My injuries are my own concern, she said. They do not stop me from fulfilling my duty. Darian looked at her brace. But it must hurt. Hurt is irrelevant, she said simply. He did not know how to respond. A technician entered and pointed them to the chairs. Please sit. We will begin the link calibration. Darian sat down. Reza sat across from him, movements slow but steady. The machine connected two metal bands to their temples. Small lights blinked as the system prepared. The technician stepped back. When the link activates, try to keep your minds calm. Strong emotions may disrupt the signal. Darian tried to relax, but his thoughts raced. He didn't want this. He didn't want the responsibility. He didn't want to share his mind with a stranger, especially someone he had already misjudged. Reza closed her eyes, peaceful like stone. Begin, the technician said. The machine hummed. A soft vibration ran through the air. Then Darian felt something like warm static brushing across his thoughts. The neural link activated. His eyes widened as he felt a second presence enter the edges of his mind. It was strange, heavy, and disciplined. At first, he panicked, thinking someone was pushing into his brain, but the sensation steadied, becoming clearer. He felt Reza's mind. Not her exact thoughts, those remained private, but her emotional state, her instincts, and her focus. And what he sensed shocked him. Strength. Not physical strength, mental strength. Cold, sharp, unbreakable. Under the calm surface was an iron will, so strong it almost pushed his own thoughts aside. He sensed discipline, patience, duty, and a quiet fire that burned deep inside her. He even felt something like constant pain, sharp, constant, familiar pain surrounding her right side. But she held it back, hiding it like heavy chains she had learned to carry every day. Darian gasped softly. Reza's eyes opened. She looked directly at him through the link. You see, she said quietly, my wounds do not define me. The link showed more. Flashes of battles. Of her standing against enemies. Of her protecting others even when she could barely stand. She hid her pain not to look strong but because she wanted no one to worry about her. Darian suddenly felt ashamed. He had judged her too fast. Without knowing anything. The technician's voice broke the moment. Link is stable. You may move now. Follow the training drones. Small spherical drones dropped from the ceiling and shot into the air. They moved in a fast pattern, testing reaction speed. Darian felt Reza's instincts through the link. She predicted drone movement before he even saw it. Her mind reacted like lightning, guiding his body without words. Together, they ducked, dodged, and reacted faster than Darian ever could alone. When the drill ended, both of them breathed hard. The link faded. Reza disconnected the metal band and stood up slowly, leaning slightly on her leg. She watched Darian with calm golden eyes. You judge quickly, human, she said. Darian looked down, embarrassed. I was wrong. She tilted her head slightly. Perhaps. But we still have work to do. Before she walked away, she added one last thing, quiet but strong. Do not look at my weakness. Look at my purpose. She left the training chamber, each step slow but steady. Darian remained seated, staring at the empty doorway. For the first time, he wondered not about her wounds, not about her limp, but about what secrets lay behind her silent strength, and why Command had paired him with her in the first place. The morning cycle on Arc Station 1-2 began with a soft, artificial sunrise. Light panels on the ceiling shifted from dark blue to warm gold, slowly waking the sleeping crew. But Lieutenant Darian Cole was already awake. He hadn't slept much. His mind kept replaying the neural link test with Reza Kalor. The strength he felt inside her, the pain she hid, the discipline sharper than any soldier he had ever met. He wanted answers. But Reza was silent during their first meeting. She spoke only when needed. She kept her emotions locked deep inside. She moved like someone carrying invisible weight. Darian wanted to understand her, not because Command ordered him to, but because something inside him had changed. He no longer saw her as a burden or a mistake. He saw her as a mystery. And maybe even an ally worth protecting. Their second link training session took place in the simulation dome. The room was a huge sphere, where holograms created a full battlefield environment. There were digital mountains, simulated sand, and enemy drones that moved as fast as real ones. Reza entered first, her steps slow and steady. Her leg brace clicked lightly on the metal floor. She didn't look at Darian as he walked in. Instead, she stared at the hologram map floating above the center platform. "We will be tested on teamwork today," she said calmly. "The simulation rating will determine if we are approved for real missions." Darian nodded, though anxiety twisted inside him. He didn't want to fail. Not again. Not after what happened on the convoy mission months ago. The technician strapped the neural bands to their temples again. This time, Darian prepared himself. "Activating link," the technician said. The sensation returned warm static, a soft pressure behind his thoughts. Then, Reza's presence appeared again in his mind. Like a heavy, but steady heartbeat. And once again, he felt it, the constant pain in her right side, the sharp pulses she hid from everyone. But now, he also sensed something deeper, like a locked door inside her thoughts. Something she didn't want anyone to see. The simulation began. Huge metal creatures appeared in the distance, training drones, shaped like alien beasts. They charged forward with fast, heavy steps, kicking sand into the air. Darian moved on instinct, but his instincts were guided by Reza's mind. She pushed tactical signals into the link warnings. Directions. Predictions. She knew exactly where the drones would strike. Darian dodged left at the same moment Reza raised her arm to shove a drone aside. Their movements looked coordinated, almost beautiful. Reza's inner voice echoed faintly through the link. "3 behind you." Darian spun, firing a simulation rifle, hitting all 3 targets. Not because he was fast, because she helped him see them before they arrived. As they fought, Darian felt her pain spike when she jumped or moved too quickly. It hit him through the link like electricity. But she never hesitated. She never slowed down. The simulation ended with a bright flash of blue light. A hologram on the wall displayed. "Team rating, Elite." Darian turned to her, impressed. "You were amazing." She breathed heavily but kept her posture straight. "You improved." "That was more than improvement," Darian said. "You carried most of that." 9. Reza looked away. "The link works. That is all that matters." But Darian wasn't finished. "Why do you hide the pain? I feel it every time." Her golden eyes snapped toward him. For a moment, she almost looked angry. "You feel too much, human." "It's the link," he said. "I can't switch it off." Reza walked toward the exit, then learned to ignore it. "But why should I ignore it?" Darian asked, voice rising. "You're fighting like you're fine, but you're not." Reza stopped. Her shoulders stiffened. The door opened in front of her. But she didn't leave. "You think pain makes me weak?" she asked quietly. Darian took a step forward. "No. I think hiding it is dangerous." She finally turned around. Her face still looked calm, but her eyes were sharp as blades. "Pain is the reminder of what I survived," she said. "It teaches discipline. It reminds me of my purpose." "What purpose?" he asked. But she didn't answer. The door closed behind her. She was keeping secrets. And the link only deepened Darian's curiosity. Hours later, during a joint escort mission, Darian got more answers than he expected. They were traveling with a human Varkari cargo convoy carrying medical supplies. Their job was simple: protect the cargo and scan for threats. Riza walked beside him through the hangar, leaning a little more on her brace. But her posture was still tall, still proud. Darian tried again. "Reza, why are you really here? Why does a warrior of your level need a bond partner?" She didn't answer. She simply boarded the escort shuttle. Darian sighed and followed. The mission began quietly. Too quietly. 2 hours later, Darian noticed something wrong on the scanner. A wave of silent dots appeared behind them, small, fast-moving objects. "Unmarked signatures," he said. "Could be pirates. Or something worse." Reza placed her hand on the wall, feeling the vibration through her brace. "They move like raider drones." The next second, alarms blared across the convoy. Dozens of black metal drones burst from the dust clouds of a nearby asteroid field, moving like hungry insects. They targeted the cargo ships with precision. The escort pilots panicked. Some fired wildly. Others tried to run. Darian and Reza exchanged a look. "Link," she said. He tapped the activator on his wrist. The neural bond surged into place instantly, stronger than in training. Reza shouted commands through the link. "Left, shields up, aim for the wings." Darian followed every instruction. He fired at weak points she sensed before he even raised his weapon. The shuttle twisted and dodged through the battle like it was alive. A drone got too close. Darian saw it too late, but Reza did not. She moved with impossible speed, faster than her damaged leg should have allowed. She threw herself sideways, grabbing Darian's arm and pulling him away from the explosion. The blast shook the entire shuttle. Darian crashed into the wall. Reza landed on her injured leg. Through the link, Darian felt her pain explode like a lightning strike, but she didn't make a sound. "Reza, your leg." "Ignore it," she growled. "Fight." He forced himself up and fired through the window, hitting 2 drones that came too close. With their combined effort, the convoy survived. The remaining drones retreated into the asteroid field. Silence fell inside the shuttle. Darian leaned against the wall, catching his breath. "You moved. Faster than I thought possible." Reza sat on a crate, her brace sparking slightly from the impact. "I moved because I had to," she said. "Because you wanted to save me?" Darian asked, before he could stop himself. She didn't reply. The link flickered. And then it happened. A memory flashed into Darian's mind, uncontrolled, raw, and painful. Not his memory. Hers. He saw Reza standing in armor he had never seen before. Dark blue with silver markings. Elite armor. She was surrounded by warriors who looked like her, strong, proud, fearless. Then a battlefield. Explosions. Screams. A storm of plasma fire. Reza shielding civilians with her body. Her squad falling one by one. Her leg crushed under debris. Her voice calling for help until her throat broke. And then, silence. The memory faded. Darian gasped, dropping to his knees. Reza's eyes widened. "You were not supposed to see that," she said, her voice tense. "Reza, you were Royal Guard," he whispered. "Your whole squad." "Enough," she said sharply. He met her eyes. "Why didn't you tell me?" She looked away. "Because it does not matter anymore." "Ma." "It matters to me," Darian said softly. "You're not weak. You're a hero." Reza's expression flickered for the first time, something like surprise, maybe even pain. "You saw only a piece," she said. "There is more. Much more." Darian stepped forward. "Then show me. Trust me." She shook her head. "Trust is earned. And the truth is dangerous." "But you saved hundreds," Darian insisted. "You saved me today." Reza stood slowly, leaning on the wall for support. She tried to walk away, but her injured leg shook. Darian moved to help her. She pushed his hand aside. "I do not need pity," she said. "It's not pity," he replied. "It's respect." Reza turned, studying him carefully. "You are different from other humans," she said. "And you're different from what I thought you were." For a moment, the tension between them softened. Then the alarm sounded again, calling all officers back to base. Darian looked toward the sound. Reza looked toward the stars. And both knew. The truth he saw was only the beginning. Arc Station 1-2 returned to its normal routine after the Raider drone attack. But Darian Cole did not feel normal at all. The memory he accidentally saw from Reza's mind kept replaying again and again. The Royal Guard. The battle that broke her body. The civilians she protected. The final moment where she held back an entire strike force alone. It explained everything: her pain, her silence, her discipline, her loneliness. But it also filled Darian with questions. Why had she been hidden? Why was she assigned to him, of all people? And most importantly, who still wanted her dead? Because the drone attack didn't feel random. Something about the precision, the way they targeted the convoy, the speed of their retreat. It felt planned. It felt like they were looking for someone. And Darian feared he already knew who. 3 days later, Darian and Reza were sent on a reconnaissance mission near the border region. Their ship, a small scout-class shuttle, moved silently through a field of broken asteroids and debris. Darian checked the sensors. Nothing unusual appeared, but the empty readings made him uneasy. "No signs of movement," he reported. Reza looked out of the transparent window, golden eyes sharp and focused. "Too quiet." "Agreed," Darian said. There were rumors about this sector. Shadows in the dark, ships disappearing without signals, entire outposts vanishing. But there was no confirmation, only fear. The mission required them to inspect an abandoned Varkari listening post. The building floated between two shattered moons, dark and still. It looked like a dead creature frozen in space. As they landed, the metal floor echoed beneath their boots. The air smelled stale, like recycled oxygen that had been untouched for months. Reza walked slowly due to her brace but kept her guard up. "This station was destroyed from the inside," she said, examining the walls. "No blaster marks. No explosives." Darian frowned. "Then, what killed everyone here?" She touched a shattered control screen. It flickered weakly, showing only broken lines of data. "Something hacked the systems," she said. "Something powerful." A cold chill crawled up Darian's spine. "Could Raider drones do this?" "No," Reza said. "Something older." Before he could ask what she meant, the scanner on Darian's wrist beeped. A tiny red dot blinked at the corner of the screen. "What is that?" he whispered. Reza leaned closer. "A signal. Very weak. Very fast." The dot moved again too quickly for any organic ship, too smoothly for pirates. Darian checked the direction. His chest tightened. "It's coming from deep space," he said. Reza's face hardened. "The Karnaks." Darian's heart skipped a beat. The Karnaks were only a myth, an ancient machine race said to awaken once every few centuries to erase organic life. But no one had seen them for generations. "You're sure?" he asked. Reza nodded slowly. "The Royal Guard studied ancient threats. We saw traces of this signature long ago. The machines who slaughtered my unit had the same energy pattern." Darian's breath shook. "Reza, are they hunting you?" "Yes," she said simply. They are. Before they could leave, the station lights flickered violently. Then everything went silent. The air filled with a low humming sound, cold, metallic, unnatural. The kind of noise that made every hair on Darian's arms rise. Stay close, Riza ordered. A small silver sphere floated out of the shadows. It was smooth, perfect, silent. No visible weapons, no lights. But the neural link pulsed in Darian's mind. Riza's fear, sudden and sharp. Back away, she whispered. The sphere scanned the room with a red beam. When the beam touched Reza's arm, the machine froze. Red lights ignited across its surface, glowing like angry stars. It has detected my signature, Riza said. What signature? The Royal Guard imprint. Only those who survived the massacre have it. But why would machines want that? Darian asked. Riza answered with a heavy voice. Because we once defeated them. The sphere shot forward with blinding speed. Darian grabbed Riza's arm, pulling her toward the exit. They ran through the dark hall. The sphere chasing them like a silent predator. The link surged with panic, fear, adrenaline. Riza's pain pulsed every time her leg hit the ground, but she didn't slow down. The sphere launched a blast toward them, silent but powerful. The walls cracked from the force. Riza pushed Darian aside, taking most of the shock on her armored shoulder. Go, she yelled. Darian reached the shuttle door. Riza limped behind him, her brace sparking. The sphere closed in, humming louder. Darian turned, pulled out his blaster, and fired directly at it. His aim was perfect, but the sphere dodged effortlessly. Riza, inside, he shouted. She jumped onto the ramp, barely making it. Darian slammed his hand on the door controls, sealing the shuttle just as the sphere smashed into the metal. Take off, Riza said. Darian launched the shuttle into space. But the danger wasn't over. A huge shadow emerged from the darkness, a vessel shaped like a curved blade. Massive and silent. No windows. No visible engines. Only shifting lines of red light across its hull. A Carnex warship. Darian swallowed hard. That thing is targeting us. No. The warship locked onto them with red beams. Riza's voice trembled, not with fear for herself, but fear for humanity. If they capture me, they will extract everything the Royal Guard knew. They will use it to destroy my people. And yours. Darian clenched his fists. Then we're not letting them. The neural link surged with new intensity. Riza shared her tactical senses, calculations, predictions, angles of movement. Darian shared human intuition, improvisation, risk-taking, pattern-breaking. Together, their minds merged into one focused force. Sharp left, she said. Already doing it, he replied. The shuttle twisted sharply. A beam shot past them, burning a glowing line across space. Down! She shouted. They dove underneath the warship's front arc, sliding into its blind spot. Up! He shouted back. The shuttle rose quickly, dodging another attack. They moved like a single creature. Smooth, coordinated, perfect. But their shuttle was too small to outrun such a massive ship. The Carnex vessel slowly circled behind them, dragging space itself with its gravity field. Then the warship did something terrifying. It opened. A massive iris-shaped structure unfolded at its center, glowing red with a pulse that felt like a heartbeat. Riza's voice became tight. They are preparing a capture net. They want me alive. God. 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 Not happening, Darian said. The link flared. And Darian had an idea. It's risky, he told her. Very risky. Humans are always risky, she replied. Show me. He sent her the plan through the link, an insane maneuver involving gravity slingshot, their last energy cell, and a narrow escape vector between two collapsing asteroids. Riza considered it for 1 second. Then she said, I trust you. Darian pulled the shuttle into a hard spin. The engines screamed. The Carnex net fired huge red lines stretching across space like a metallic spiderweb. "Now!" Reza shouted. Darien released the energy cell, letting it drift behind them. The warship's net struck the cell, and the explosive surge threw both ships sideways. The shuttle flipped and rocketed between the asteroids. The Carnex ship, thrown off balance, crashed into the drifting rocks. A cloud of debris exploded around it. Darien punched the engines. "We're clear!" Reza leaned back in her seat, breathing hard. Her brace sparked again. "Darien," she said quietly. "If the Carnex have found me again, then they will not stop. One. They'll have to get through me first," he said. She met his eyes. "Why? Why protect someone like me? Because you're not a burden. You're important." She looked down, confused but touched. "No human has ever said that to me." "Well," he said, "get used to it." The shuttle disappeared into safe space, but both of them knew. The Carnex were awake. They were hunting her. And this time, they were coming for everyone. Aiden stood inside the Great Hall of Echoes, a circular chamber filled with shining crystal walls. The inside of the hall was completely quiet, yet the silence felt full, like the room was holding its breath. Soft, white light glowed from the crystals, making everything look calm and pure. This was the heart of Zirathi culture, the place where bonds were confirmed and destinies were shaped. Lyra stood a few steps ahead of him, her tall figure steady even with her injured leg. She leaned slightly on her carved wooden staff, but her stance was strong. Her silver eyes reflected the crystal light, calm but full of expectation. They had come here to confirm something both of them already knew. Something that had grown. Slowly, honestly, and unexpectedly. The bond. Aiden took a deep breath. The air felt different, almost alive. Lyra turned her head slightly toward him. "Are you ready?" Her voice was soft, but he felt the strength in it. He nodded. "Yes, I am." She smiled, not the polite warrior smile she used to hide discomfort, but a real, warm smile. "Good. Then let us begin." Aiden stepped beside her as the crystal symbols on the floor began to glow. A gentle vibration moved under their feet, like the room recognized them. It was time. The elders arrive. A soft humming filled the air as 3 Zirathi elders walked into the chamber. Their robes were long and decorated with glowing blue lines. Their steps were slow and careful, but each elder carried an aura of great wisdom. They formed a half-circle around Aiden and Lyra. Elder Vion, the oldest among them, spoke first. "Aiden Hale of Earth. Lyra Vesh, of Clan Arakai. You stand here today to declare your bond, not because of tradition, but because of truth." Aiden felt heat in his chest. Lyra stood taller, proud. Elder Vion continued. "Before we begin, you must speak the truth of your journey. Speak clearly. Speak honestly. Speak together." Lyra looked at Aiden and nodded gently. Aiden began. "When I first met Lyra, I didn't understand her. I didn't know her struggles. I didn't know how much she carried. I saw her injury and thought she must be fragile. But she is not fragile." Lyra's eyes softened. "She is strong," Aiden continued. "She taught me what real strength is. She taught me patience. She taught me that every universe has people who fight quietly. People who rise again and again without asking for praise. She taught me that true strength is not in muscles, but in heart." Lyra placed a hand over her chest, touched. Then she spoke. "And Aiden Hale. He reminds me of light. He came from a world full of noise, yet he brought peace to my shadows. He treated me not as a broken warrior, but as a whole person. He saw me when others looked away. He heard me when others spoke over me. He carried me not in body, but in spirit." Aiden blinked, surprised by her words. Lyra continued, her voice warm. "He helped me stand again. not with force, but with kindness. He made me believe my path was not over. He showed me that hope can return even when the mind tries to hide it. The elders listened silently, but their expressions softened. The chamber felt warmer, more alive. Elder Vion nodded. Your truths are spoken. Now the Hall of Echoes will judge your hearts. The hall responds. The crystals in the walls began to glow brighter. Colors shifted white to blue, blue to gold, slow and gentle like flowing water. The humming grew softer, deeper. Aiden felt it in his chest, like the room was breathing with them. Lyra lifted her staff and placed the tip gently on the glowing floor. A soft tone echoed through the chamber, delicate like a wind chime. Aiden followed her lead, placing his hand over the center symbol, the circle of unity. Light rose from the floor, winding around their legs like warm air. It wasn't painful. It wasn't heavy. It felt like calm energy flowing around them, trying to understand their intentions. Aiden stood still. Lyra did the same. The hall reacted. A golden light rose and wrapped around them both, connecting them in a gentle circle. The elders whispered among themselves. Finally, Elder Vion raised a hand. The hall accepts your bond. The golden light brightened. Aiden breathed out slowly, feeling relief and joy mix inside him. Lyra smiled softly. It is done. But Elder Vion shook his head. Not yet. There is one more step. Aiden swallowed. One more? Lyra turned to the elder. You mean the promise of paths? Elder Vion nodded. Yes. The bond is strong, but it must be supported by choice. You must declare how your futures will stay connected. The promise of paths. Lyra stepped forward slightly. I will speak my promise first. The elders bowed their heads. Lyra turned to Aiden fully, her silver hair falling across her shoulder. I promise, she said slowly, clearly, to walk with you even when the path is uncertain. I promise to trust your decisions. I promise to stand beside you not as a warrior needing protection, but as an equal who chooses you. Aiden felt his chest tighten at her words. Then it was his turn. He stepped closer to her, his voice steady. I promise to learn your world, your ways, and your strengths. I promise to support you when things are hard, and celebrate with you when things are bright. I promise to respect your independence while still being there whenever you need me. I promise to choose you, too. Too? Lyra's eyes glowed with warmth. The elders lifted their staffs. Light rose from the floor again, brighter, gentler, wrapping around Aiden and Lyra like a warm blanket. The bond is confirmed, Elder Vion said. Your paths are joined. The golden light burst gently into thousands of small sparks. They floated around the chamber like tiny stars before slowly fading. Lyra exhaled softly. It is done. Aiden smiled at her. Yes, it is. But their journey was not ending. It was beginning. A new mission. As they left the Hall of Echoes, a familiar figure approached. Captain Thalen. He waited at the entrance, his uniform neat and his expression serious, but not unkind. Aiden. Lyra. Walk with me. They followed him through the corridor until they reached a balcony overlooking the city. The sky was a gentle purple, and the floating platforms glowed like lanterns. Thalen turned to them. You two have started something bigger than you realize. Humans and Zirathi have worked together before, but bonds like yours, they are rare. They build trust between worlds. Lyra tilted her head. What are you suggesting, Captain? Thalen crossed his arms. We want you two to represent both species on a peace journey. There are colonies where humans and Zirathi don't get along. You could help them understand each other. You could help them trust. No. 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 Aiden looked at Lyra. Lyra looked at Aiden. They didn't need words. Thalen smiled slightly. I'll take that as a yes. Aiden laughed softly. We'll do it. Lyra nodded proudly. Thalen handed them a small, glowing device. Your first destination is the human settlement on the moon of Rethor. They have been refusing Zirathi help for years. It will be difficult. Aiden looked at Lyra again. We can handle difficult. Lyra smiled, tapping his shoulder gently with her staff. Yes, we can. A bond that echoes across stars. That night, standing on the balcony alone, Aiden looked at the glowing city beneath them. Lyra stood beside him, leaning slightly on her staff, but relaxed. What are you thinking? She asked. Aiden chuckled. That life is strange. I came here for training, and found something I never expected. Lyra looked at him with a gentle expression. Sometimes the universe gives gifts quietly. The difficult part is accepting them. Lyra. Aiden nodded slowly. Lyra's eyes softened, and she leaned her head lightly against his shoulder, not out of weakness, but out of trust. And I'm glad you did, she whispered. The stars above them glowed brighter, as if agreeing. Their bond was not just a personal connection. It was a symbol, a bridge, a beginning. And as their journey into the unknown began, one thing was certain. Humanity had not just found a new ally. It had found a new way forward.